Greetings, listeners, and thank you for tuning in to another episode of Lapsed Gamer Radio, an occasional, but we hope still enjoyable, enthusiast community podcast about the hobby of gaming, where folk that are interested in playing games again can hook up and chat with other lapsed gamers, as well as people more active in the pastime, in an effort to reinforce the pleasure we can all take in the wonderful medium of video games. We hope you can relax and enjoy.
So, Mark, what have you been playing this month? Anything in particular?
This month has been almost exclusively Destiny.
Hey!
I've dabbled in a few other little bits and pieces. I played a little bit of Mad Max as well.
Ooh.
Actually, I'll talk about that first, because I haven't got too much to say about it.
Yeah.
It is, at one and the same time, one of the most fun and also probably the worst of the Warner Brothers published sandbox games. It's nowhere near as good as Batman. It's nowhere near as good as Shadow of Mordor. But elements of it are just so ridiculously fun. Specifically the car combat. Everything else apart from that is just nonsense. Collecting bits of scrap and getting in rather boring fist fights. But the building of your car and driving around the wasteland and getting involved in car combat is really, really, really good fun. Definitely something to pick up cheap.
Yeah.
Not something I recommend paying full price for.
I'm waiting for it.
Yeah, well, if you can find it in deal, then it's well worth checking out. The main thing I've been playing is Destiny: The Taken King, the Year 2 major expansion. And it's fixed pretty much everything that was wrong with everything in Year 1 of Destiny. The leveling systems, the way that the quests were presented, it actually has cutscenes now, and characters actually relay the story to you, rather than you having to go off and read them on the Bungie website. The leveling was like giant steps. So what they've done in the new one is smoothed that out a lot more. So you still have to get a better armor and weapons to make your light go up, but it's on a much smoother gradient. If you're a couple of light levels below the recommended light for a particular quest, you might struggle a little bit, but it's not going to be futile like it was before. Everyone's got a variety of different pieces of armor and different weapons, and it's just made the game a lot more diverse. They've introduced loads new types of quests with crazy mechanics, and they've added in lots of secrets that people are still discovering things hidden in it. So you'd have like, I don't know whether they've done this in other MMO games. I'm assuming that Bungie have borrowed this idea from others, but having like a daily mission where they take one of the story missions, and that would be your daily, and they'd make it super hard and you get a nice reward at the end of it. That's been in there since the beginning. But now they've started doing things where a mission that you'd done in the story would have something extra in it if you found it. So one of the quests, you're in an area that you're supposed to be running through. There's a door open that you usually run past because it's closed. But if you now go down that door, when that mission is the daily, you get sucked into another mission that you can get an exotic weapon at the end of that you can only get that way. So it's full of secrets. And it means there's actually a reason to keep on playing. It feels less of a grind and more of there's more an act of discovery.
Yeah, it's weird because, Destiny's been out for so long now, and yet I'm surrounded by people at work that are still playing it, and they're still talking about it day in, day out. So I think this Taken King has really give it a lot of legs. It's definitely changed the game a lot by the sounds of it.
Yeah, well, see, the core gameplay mechanics were great.
Yeah.
Bungie knows how to make a good shooter. There's not many shooters I've played that feel as good as Destiny. But there was just too much grinding and other nonsense in the way, and hiding the story away and making it really obscure. And it still kind of is. Bits of the story are still presented through like flavor texts for items and things like that in a very Dark Souls sort of way. But the characters actually relay the story to you now. And they finally decided to utilise some of the voice actors they've got, some of the brilliant voice actors they've got, specifically Nathan Fillion, who is hilarious all the way through it. And that was something that Destiny was missing, was a little bit of humour.
Yeah.
It can be quite a dour game. And Nathan Fillion brings his, he brings his comedy chops along, and everybody loves a bit of Nathan Fillion.
Never trust anybody that doesn't.
Yeah.
This is probably an ideal starting point for new players, isn't it?
Yes, it is, yeah. If you get the Taken King, you get an item in your inventory which you can use on one character. You get one per account that will instantly boost them to level 25, which is the entry to start doing the Taken King. But even if you didn't use that, if you just jumped in and played through all of Vanilla, The Dark Below and House of Wolves, you'd level up pretty quickly to the point where you'd hit the level cap and then start getting the end game stuff. And at that point, there's just so much to do. I've been bombarded with quest lines that a month later I'm still chipping away at. There's things like, have either of you ever played Bloodborne?
I've got it, but I haven't played it.
No, it looks way too hard. Don't forget, I'm playing Peppa Pig.
So there was an area in Bloodborne where you could feed items to a gravestone and it would randomly generate a dungeon for you. And Bungie have kind of taken a spin on that idea. So now there's an area, in the new area that you could go to explore is called the Dreadnought. It's a giant hive ship above the rings of Saturn. And then there's an area in there called the Court of Oryx. And you go along and you present these runes to these statues. And it will summon a bunch of enemies, like a public event with some bosses, or one particularly hard boss. And it's just become this great little social area, because you'll go in there with a couple of mates, start doing the events, and then anyone else who comes into that part of the Dreadnought will see you taking part in this event, and they come along and join in, and it just turns into a big part. The other night we had 7 people all in this area just having a whale of a time. So they've done a lot to make it more social. They've added in some more multiplayer things as well. Like there's a new mode called Mayhem, where your super and your grenades and everything recharge really quickly, and it's utter chaos.
Sounds more like my kind of game. One where there's less skill involved.
Yeah, it's insanity.
It does sound more appealing.
It is. It's a lot more. Like I despite the fact that I was horrifically addicted to it for a long time, I could see its faults, and its faults were eventually drove me away. And then I got tempted back by a friend. And
yes, you did have the 1 month wobble a few months ago, didn't you?
Yes, yeah. I just dropped off completely. Then a friend convinced me to go back and help him with some bits and pieces. Ended up having quite a lot of fun playing it. Found the Taken King quite cheap, and yeah. I'm hooked again.
Do you know about the best-selling game system in the world? About Nintendo Game System? Do you know about games that will swipe you off your feet like you're really in them, with real sound and real pictures that come out and hit you in the face? Games that'll challenge you till you explode with excitement.
I can restore life. I can give magic. I can.
Games that you'll never want to put down, that'll dare you and captivate you. With so much action, you'll be absorbed by them until you're sucked into your television set.
Andy, what have you been playing this month?
Oh, I've been hammering games away. About 4 games completed.
Oh, wow.
Nicely done.
Yeah. Well, since I got back from the States, basically, I had a lot of free time and just hammering away. So I've got a few games to talk about. First game I want to talk about was inspired by your chat on the strategy games.
Oh, right.
Yeah, I was in the States listening to it, and I was like, God, I quite fancy one of these strategy games. And I did have a Vita with me. And
yeah.
So I
why not?
Yeah. You're in the States, but countryside, but you take your Vita with you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's the law.
It is. My wife always complaining about me through security. I'm always bringing out the tablet, the Vita, the camera, all sorts of stuff.
Oh, wow.
I was there, and I remember this game called Warhammer Squad Command, and it was originally on the PSP. So I thought, I quite fancy that. And looked at the PSN store, and it was there. So this is based on the Warhammer 40k world. I don't know if you're familiar with it.
A little bit.
Not at all.
Well, basically, the motto is, there is only war in this universe. It's quite grim. Not a lot of fun, but they do have interesting Space Marines characters, etc. So, this is a turn-based game. It has a very loose story. Essentially, there's a few cutscenes between the missions. You're saving the world. That's it. You know, we talk about Destiny's story, lack of it. this is probably even worse, but at least not looking for it. It's all dripped in between each level. So each level's a separate level. Unlike XCOM, I understand, you don't take your characters from one level to the next, so they don't actually upgrade.
All right. That's weird.
Yeah, it's quite strange at first. But what you do at the end of each mission, there's 15 missions in all, you unlock new weapons and new characters. For example, you start off with a lowest character, which is a Space Marine Scout, they call it. It's basically this guy, and he's got no armour. And as you progress, you might unlock a sniper rifle or a better bolt gun. And then as you get to mission 2 or 3, you unlock a Space Marine who's fully armoured.
Yeah, got you.
So you unlocking characters and until you get to your Terminators and your Dreadnoughts of big, large machines. You get points at the end of each mission, so it values you on how quick you do it and how many people you killed and how many people you lost. You've got different objectives, so sometimes it can be a race to a point, or kill as all the people, or hold your bit of area for a set time. So you've got different things going on. I mean, it's enjoyable. It's on the Vita. I did complete it. I really enjoy it. And one thing about it is the points. I mean, because one of the missions was, I think it was towards the end. So you're fighting these robotic giant spiders. They are called, specialist name, I can't remember. Even though I like the universe, I can't remember what they're called. And first time I played through, we just destroyed my squad, dead, a few turns. So I just played a careful game of, and it lasted 48 turns, this one level. Yeah. Yeah, but to win, I just want to complete the game. I'm not bothered about my score. And so 48 turns, and I got 0 points. But I beat the game. I didn't care. But yeah, that's really enjoyable. It's on the Vita. The second game I completed with my brother was Resident Evil Revelations 2. I don't know if either of you have played that.
Okay. No, I haven't played any of them since 4.
Yeah, I gave up after 4 as well.
Yeah.
No, well, I've played 5 and 6, and I've played the first Revelations. Now 5 and 6, especially in particular 6, is just rubbish.
Yeah, that seems to be the consensus.
Yeah. So this is a return back to the old style, almost tank controls Resi type of 4.
Yeah, isn't this the sequel to the one that was on the 3DS?
Yeah, this is 3DS and the PS3.
Okay.
360 it was.
Okay.
And this was released early this year in episodic form, I think on the PlayStation Network and the Xbox Live.
Yeah.
But I got the disc copy, which has got all the episodes on and a couple of extras. And what's good about this one, like 5 and 6, it's co-op, but instead of 2 of you going gung-ho, killing well, not even zombies now. They're just some sort of mutated creatures now. It's fucking weird. You've got, you play as Claire or Barry. So
Barry?
Yeah, Barry from the first one, you know.
I know, but honestly, why didn't they just call him Ian and have done with it? Dear, oh dear, Barry. Honestly. What a name. Not a heroic name at all.
No, not really.
Anyway, sorry, Andy.
Is it Barry Burton? His name's Barry Burton, so it's BB. All right.
Yeah. After the gun.
Yeah. So, yeah, you play as Claire. You get taken to this island. It's all featured on this one island. And each episode is divided, one half's Claire, one half's Barry. So Claire and Barry are the gun-toting ones going gung-ho. But if you play co-op, the other person takes control of the other character. Now, if it's Claire, you're Moira, who's Barry's daughter, and Barry's come to save her. And if you're Barry, you play with Natalia, who's this little girl who he finds.
Okay.
Now, these other two, they can't fight zombies as such. Natalia can't in particular. She's got a special power that sort of highlights weak points, while Moira can hit them, but really does nothing else. She can't fire a gun.
Mm-hmm.
So that's made it twist in the gameplay where one person sort of got the weapons and killing them, while the other person can make them weaker, highlighting the weak points. In particular, if you play it with somebody, it's a lot better game.
Yeah.
The storyline's typical Resident Evil.
Absolute nonsense then.
Yeah, absolutely. Rubbish.
But great.
Oh, yes, brilliant at the same time. More virus. And but I'm sick and tired. I don't know if it's me or if it's just coming to the games. These monsters are so generic now. They just do these bubble flesh things, and it's just like, yeah, there you go. Fight this and come running at you. And you're just like, you just go, sometimes you wish for a zombie. Come on, just rotting flesh.
That's it. Yeah, we've seen it all so many times before now, though, haven't we? I mean, when Resident Evil first came out, it was pretty much on its own, and obviously when you got Nemesis, and it just really up the ante, But you've seen it so many times in not just Resi games, but just any survival horror of these days. They seem to have taken the template and just run with it, don't they?
Yeah, it's just generic monsters.
Yeah,
it's like they took the moment where it was Resident Evil 2 the first time you saw one of the lickers, those things with like the long times. It's like the reveal of that was so amazing that it's like every game they've brought out since then they have to top what they've done before.
Yeah.
And it got a little bit ridiculous. Some of the enemies in 4, the last one I played, were a little bit like, really, can I just fight some zombies? Yeah.
But it's a good game, if you can play it 2-player, you're always going to have these side characters with you, if you're playing it single player.
So is it kind of like a twist on escort missions, but the escort characters being controlled by someone?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
that's kind of cool.
And the escort character can actually do something.
Yeah.
Instead of just staying going, screaming, running around, and you're having to chase after him, trying to get him back or anything. They've actually got a bit of a purpose. They've got some interesting abilities that they can use.
Yeah.
So that's an interesting twist. At the end of it, it's got a good or bad ending, and this really pissed me off because I got the bad ending as such.
Oh, I always hate that.
Yeah. What it was, I had to go looking for it. What happened? Why didn't I get a good ending? Because I thought I did everything right. I think it was at the end of episode 2 or 3. I think it's like Moira or Claire. I think it's Claire. If Claire fires the gun, which is within her almost just within her reach as such, and the game tells you to press a button to grab the gun if you're Claire. So you press the button because, hey, it tells you, you're used to it. We're all used to these QTEs now.
Yeah.
Quick tapping, and you shoot the enemy you've been fighting. That means you're not going to get the good ending.
What?
Yeah, I was like, what? Really?
Oh, Jesus.
It has to be the other player to grab the gun and shoot the monster. But because we played with my brother and we played it couch co-op, it was flashing on my side of the screen and his side of the screen. So it was like a race to get the gun. Now, if I knew he had to get the gun, wouldn't have tapped the buttons.
Just let him.
Yeah, just let him do it.
Yeah.
So things like that really annoy me. It was just a bit the designs, like I said, the design of the monsters. But I think I picked it up for £15, so it's quite cheap.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's pretty good.
At the moment, couch co-op, I think it does have online co-op, so it's well worth getting back. If you haven't played, like you two haven't played since 4, these Revelations games are probably better way to get back into Resident Evil rather than the 5 and 6.
Yeah, it sounds like it's a more familiar feel than it became.
Yeah.
The thing is, as well, it's always got the couch co-op going for it.
Yeah.
Which is something that's sadly lacking a lot these days. And you just think, why? Because there used to be some great games. I mean, good God, you had stuff like GoldenEye.
Yeah.
But
Well, there's been a bit of a resurgence with that, like with Towerfall and Samurai Gun and Nidhogg and things like that. But it's only coming from the indie scene.
Yeah.
Yeah, the major publishers just seem to want to throw you onto online stuff.
Yeah.
You're there.
Yeah.
I mean, if you did a proper Resident Evil 7 like this, and your co-op partner had interesting abilities, maybe a bit more offensive, but we don't have to have a gun as such. But if you had different abilities, I think that would be a big hit. So sort of experiment with the idea here. Yeah, I think the next one's going to be like an FPS. type
Oh
of,
yeah, no, that team-based shooter. Yeah, that
Yeah.
looks a bit.
Yeah.
They should just bring back Dino Crisis.
Oh yeah, that's what I need to do. That was the second one co-op, wasn't it?
Yes, yeah, I believe it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, I played the first two and they were both great.
Yeah.
But I think the third one was Dino Crisis in Space or something like that, and sounds awful.
Yeah, I never played that. The third game was a bit of a time stealer. And Katie will love this. It was Dragon Age.
Oh, Dragon
Origin.
Age. Oh, the original. Nice.
Yeah, but the Ultimate Edition. No, so the edition that's got every piece of DLC.
Yeah, it's got is it Awakening?
Awakening,
Yeah.
Witch Hunt, Warden's Keep. It's got
Yeah.
I've never tried any of them.
Oh, I played so much of that game.
Yeah, so this was about 100 hours, I think it was. Just under 100 hours of gameplay.
Oh, easily.
Wow. And you've completed that.
Yeah, I've completed it. I've sort of started the second one. I told you I had some free time in the last few
Good
weeks.
God, no sleep till Brooklyn.
I still think that is the best one of the series.
Yeah?
I played all three. I didn't finish the latest one. The name's completely escaping me. Dragon Age
Inquisition.
what? Dragon Age Inquisition, yeah. I was really enjoying it. And chipping away at it up until The Witcher came out, and then I was like, oh, this is what an open world RPG game should be. So I haven't seen the end, and the end might be incredible. But it's the Dragon Age Origins was just outstanding. Like I played it on PC, so I don't know what the console version's like, but as someone who used to play Baldur's Gate and games like that, it was just incredible. And it had one thing that I absolutely loved about Origins that then they didn't bring back in either of the two sequels, and that was is it Orzammar, the giant dwarven city underground. That was one of my favourite environments in any like fantasy RPG I've ever played, and it's only in the first one that you never go back to anywhere like that, and it's like the closest thing I've seen in like a video game as to like how you see Moria in the Lord of the Rings films. Like the scale of it is incredible, and it's I mean the storyline was a hell of a lot better, I think, in the first one, and there was a lot more choice. As the series went on, EA's influence was more apparent, and the games became a little bit more accessible. I think Katie might disagree with me on that, but yeah. It was a brilliant game. If you find it cheap, I'd recommend it to anyone.
Yeah, get the Ultimate Edition if you can. It has got everything.
Yes, and Awakening, especially was like that is how you're supposed to do DLC.
Yeah, that is.
What platform did you play it on, Andy?
I played it on PS3.
Wow. Taking it back to old school then.
Yeah, it is a PS3, 360, and the PC, isn't it?
Yeah.
And like I said, I think you can probably be able to pick the Ultimate Edition. Everything's on disc. The only thing I had to do was I had to email EA because there's a problem with the PS3 version. Some versions of it doesn't have one of the DLCs on disc, but you just email them and say, look, I've got the copy of the game. Can you email a code for it? And we just did that for me. So if you have to, I mean, if anyone's got a PS3 and played this, it does provide value for money. In terms of I think the storyline in the first one, like you say, Mark, is better in terms of the politics and the companions.
Yeah, and it felt like more of more was at stake in the storyline in the first one than in either of the sequels, especially the second one.
Yeah.
I mean, the third one tries to raise it a little bit, but the first one is like, this is humanity fighting for its very survival.
Yeah.
And the politics that is surrounding that as well.
Yeah.
And people trying to get the upper hand whilst the world is in chaos. And it's great.
Yeah. I just think Awakening, though, does have those more grey areas in terms of the bad guys.
Yes. Yeah. Although there was a bit, I mean, like the one of the villains in the main game, I can't remember his name. Is it Loghain?
Loghain, yeah.
Yeah. He's not completely black and white.
No.
Like, there's a little bit of grey to his character, but I know what you mean. It became a lot more complicated in a good way in Awakening, and then I really enjoyed Leliana's standalone DLC as well. I really enjoyed that part.
Witch Hunt was really good.
Yeah,
that was sort of the ending of the whole saga. I did enjoy it. Really did enjoy it. The only thing was, it's like typical RPG. You always carry too much stuff, don't you? You become a hoarder. You become a hoarder.
Yeah. I'm going to hang on to all of these potions because I might need them in the future, and then you never use them.
Yeah. I'll have this one, it's shiny.
Yes, yeah.
You could put us on Hoarders, do the Dragon Age Hoarders show, and you'd be like, this is all my stuff. And you try to carry everything around with you. And you're always having to junk stuff. So what we did with Warden's Keep, wasn't it? That was a bit of extra DLC. We put a chest in.
Yeah.
And I think we realised the mistake because in 2 we've got the chest right at the start. And in reality, we should have had a chest right at the start. Instead of Warden's Keep, it should have been at your camp.
Yeah, it's something that a lot of RPG makers have learnt since, to have some sort of stash or something. Although The Witcher 3, they had to patch it in later because people were complaining about how they couldn't carry everything. So not everybody learns straight away, but yeah, it should be automatic. If you're going to have a game like even Diablo does it, if you're going to have a game that's going to spew loot at you, you need to have somewhere to put it.
Yeah, and sort it out and everything.
That's why I'm looking forward to Just Cause 3, because everything that you've got on Rico, he just walks around with it anyway. It seems to be on his amazing backpack.
It's his TARDIS pockets, that's what it is.
Yeah, that's it, yeah. I'm surprised he's not driving around with a tank, in a pocket somewhere on this next one.
Oh, it's going to be a problem in Fallout 4, I already know. I'm going to be over-encumbered so many times.
Do you remember that game, though? I thought it was quite an ingenious idea, especially for fantasy-style role-playing games, was Dungeon Siege, and they give you a donkey. Or a mule. They gave you, so it went around in your party. It was a graphical model and everything, and went round with you. And so you could put all your loot on this mule.
That's how I treated NPC companions in Skyrim. Just to use them as a pack horse. When I'd got too much equipment, I just dump loads in their inventory.
I mean, it had to be done. But yeah, highly recommended Dragon Age. So, plowed 100 hours in. And then, the last 2 games, I have to say, probably 2 of the most fun games I've played this year. A long time. So first one was Blood Bowl 2.
Oh yes, I've seen you playing this.
Yeah,
quite a lot actually.
I know nothing of this game.
It's another one, Games Workshop IP.
Oh no, I do know. But yeah, sorry, you sent me a video of this. Is the American football style thing?
Yeah, it's American style football. I got it on the PS4. It's out on the Xbox One and PC, and essentially it is American football. But so if you like American football, you will enjoy this. But if you like XCOM, because I've heard this is like into XCOM, you will like this. 'Cause it is turn based. Essentially, it's set in this Warhammer world, and it's just basically a spin-off. It's a piss take of it all. So you've got commentators, you've got a vampire commentator, and an ogre commentator. As you play through the tutorial, it's actually your campaign. It's a great way to learn about the ins and outs of actual Blood Bowl. Blood Bowl is actually based on a board game by Games Workshop back in the 80s, and I think it was re-released in the 90s.
Okay.
So you've got 2 teams. As you play, all I've done is play through the campaign. I will eventually go online with it. But you start off, you take this human team through the whole league, and you play in various matches. It's turn-based. Unlike the Warhammer 40k game I played as Squad Command, your players can basically be upgraded. Their stats can improve if they do certain things. So they've got skill points, and they can get certain skills like dodge, hit more armor, jump up, more strength. So making better players. Each player's got a movement square, how far they can move, and an action. So if, for example, your player, your thrower, as they call it, throws a ball, that's his action. So he rolls a die, and you can see the die in the corner, and if it succeeds or not, it gives you the odds of it happening. So it says 67% chance of him successfully throwing this ball, and you designate which player's going to catch it, and it could be a player in the open, but if it's a long pass, is less likely to catch it.
Does it do the dice roll before you actually do the action?
No, it shows you potentially what would happen
Before you click?
Before you click.
Right, I see.
So you can say, all right, so I'm going to throw it to this player, 6-7% chance of throwing it. This player is surrounded by the opposite team. He's got a 33% chance of catching it. Might want to pass it to someone else who's got maybe a specialist catching skill, and he might have a 75-80% chance of catching it. So you can see what's going on. But even then, even if it's 80% or 90%, there's an element of it absolutely going wrong. And as soon as it goes wrong, you fail the roll on the die, your turn is over. It's a game of 16 turns, 8 turns a half, and in each turn, each team's got the movement phase and the action phase. If you fail any die rolls, so you could decide to do, for example, I know I want to throw to him, and I want him to catch it, but I want these players, first of all, to block and knock down the opposite team. Unlike American football, this is a bloody game. Seriously, you can knock players out. I've had players killed. You can knock them out for the game. I've had referees knocking my players out. All sorts of stuff will happen in this game. It's very tactical. You have to plan out. So you might go, I've got this big ogre guy. Right. He's going to block against this little weedy orc or whatever. And because he's stronger, he's going to get 2 die to roll. Now, what might happen is you roll the 2 die, and then you can choose which one's better. So one might be just to push him back, push your enemy back, or you might get one where it just smacks him into the ground. You've got a chance of stunning him. But, for example, you might get 2 skulls, which means your player has failed, and he's going to be on his ass. Now, you've got a chance to re-roll that, and you get 2 re-rolls per half, or you can buy more, so you can have 3 or 4. It just depends on where you put your money in. So, you say you get your 2 skulls, and you're like, oh, bollocks, because I haven't done this block, I ain't done this block, I haven't done this, I ain't done that. He hasn't even picked the ball up. So the ball's out in the open, but the first thing you've decided to do, it's failed. So you can say, all right, I'll save my re-rolls for later in the half because something more important might come up.
Mm-hmm.
Or you might say, I've got to use it now. But you use your re-roll. If it fails, your turn ends, but it might succeed, you might get a better chance. So that is what essentially the game is like. Turn-based, hell of a lot of fun. Very colourful, very bloody.
Yeah, it looks quite vibrant.
Yeah.
From the trailer I saw.
Yeah. I've been playing Madden a bit, but this is a different type of game to Madden. So
it does sound quite similar to XCOM.
Yeah. And even when you knock players down, because I've bottled myself in at times, because you've knocked players down and they take a square up, you might think you might not be able to get the ball or get the player who's got the ball. So you're going, bollocks. So even where you place the players that you've knocked down, you have to think really like almost 3-4 players or turns in advance what you want to do.
16 turns as well. That seems very, very limited.
Yeah.
You think, good God, you've really got to get your game on straight
and
away.
An interesting thing with this, because the normal board game, so the turn can be as short as it can be. Your first roll can be a failure, and that can be the end of your go. But on the game itself, they've added a timer in, and the maximum they'll allow you to do all your positions and manoeuvres, everything is 4 minutes. So it does add an element of thinking on a bit more faster. I mean, you can knock it down to 3 minutes, 2 minutes, but 4 minutes is a fair amount of time for you to get everything done. I mean, I've started halves with about 8 players out of 11. The opposition have started sometimes with 6. It's just the way it works out. But it is a hell of a lot of fun. And the commentators are brilliant. The Vampire, Jim and the Bob the Ogre, And the way they've done the campaign as a tutorial, if you're not familiar with the game, is brilliant.
Have you played it online at all?
No, I haven't played it online, not yet.
I'm not surprised. It sounds like you're still building yourself up.
I
for
got
that
distracted by Dragon Age Origins. I wanted to finish that off. So, yeah.
For 100 hours.
Yeah, that's it. Highly recommended. One of the best games. And the last game I really want to talk about is another colourful one. Transformers Devastation.
Okay. Is that the new one by Platinum?
Yeah, it's a new one by Platinum. The one that looks like the G1 cartoons.
Yeah, it
the
looks
80s.
lovely.
Yeah, I've seen
Yeah.
your screenshots. You've been tweeting quite a few of them, haven't you, over the last few days?
Yeah.
I actually thought it was the cartoon. It got me
No.
completely fooled.
It is unbelievable how they've got the cartoon quality look.
Making a 3D world look 2D.
Yeah, and the movement of it is essentially a beat 'em up. But the speed of these robots, they've got the clunkiness as they're walking about. But when it's fighting, the speed that you can pull these manoeuvres off and button changes and direction changes, I've just never seen a game, especially in a Transformers game, like it. We've got various characters. We've got the classic Optimus Prime, Bumblebee, Sideswipe. The voice actors are all there. I mean, it's quite tough so far. Because I've only done the first chapter. And then you've got a dodge button, and if you dodge successfully, you'll get a little slowdown, like moment where you can instantly go on the attack the Decepticons, the enemy, or whoever you're fighting. You get a bit of a one-up on them.
Is it like a bullet time thing then?
It's like a bullet time thing, yeah. Just a slow down where if you perform a dodge really successfully, you will get a bullet time of about maybe 2 seconds, 2-3 seconds to perform an attack on them. I mean, the world, it's not a big world. So far, it's quite linear. Some side missions going on. But what I've also got part of really, and this is the only game that I've ever seen with Transformers game, they've got the transformation right. So transforming is an important part of the game. So the special attacks, how you transform and the way they move, the sound, can't even do it right. But all that is part of it. Peter Cullen's Optimus Prime. I was talking to someone the other night on Twitter, and he says, "Yeah, it's the Megatron is really tough." Optimus Prime says Megatron must be stopped no matter the cost, and all sorts of brilliant quotes. And if you're a Transformers fan, you love it. But as a beat 'em up, and there's just the fact that it's just full of vibrant colour, we don't really see. The system we've got is brilliant.
Yeah, it looks interesting. What platform have you been playing that on?
PS4.
On PS4, yeah.
Yeah, but it's out on PS3, 360, Xbox One.
Yeah, I mean, the way it looks like it's cell shaded practically. So
Yeah.
I don't think you'd lose a lot on the graphics side. Just from going back to the older platforms anyway.
No. But the speed of it, that just surprised me and everything just about it. I've just been playing it with a big grin on my face. So, I'm a big Transformers fan, and it is brilliant. It's one of those games that, will go down in price, and it's just Activision haven't really marketed it because it's been getting really good reviews. I mean, I looked at the Metacritic, it's got about 76 or something.
That's not too bad.
No.
Yeah.
So, but Activision have almost sent this one out, to die.
Yeah, I didn't even know it was out.
No, me neither.
And it has kind of come out in the middle of, new Destiny expansion and Metal Gear and whatnot, and Fallout coming up as well.
Yeah, there's been a real slew of stuff over the last few weeks or so, hasn't there?
Yeah. Assassin's Creed is out this week, I think.
Yep.
Week, or-
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah. I'm not going to be bothered with that one, though.
No, me neither.
No, but what I will say about these two games, Blood Bowl 2 and Transformers, they've been priced cheaper. So they're not AAA prices, but, like AA prices.
So could this be the first mid-level or whatever it is, that's actually been released for the PS4 then?
Yeah, these two...
You know what I mean? There's been like a lack of these middle-tier games, there's been some decent stuff that's been released like that, but there's been nothing for the PS4. It's all like AAA releases, basically, or indie. There's nothing in between. So.
I picked it for 40 quid. But if you don't pick it for 40 quid, it'll drop down in price. And then these two games, I picked up Blood Bowl for 30. If we go down to 25, 20, they're worth it.
Yeah, I've never been much of a Transformers fan, and I'm terrible at character action games. I've managed to get through Platinum's last one, the last Platinum game I played anyway, Metal Gear Rising, only by playing it on easy. It's the only way I could get through it. I'd never been able to get to grips with that sort of game. but I enjoy them nonetheless. So I will probably pick that up when it's cheaper.
That's how I get through all my games. Easy.
Just put one easy.
Yeah. Never really graduating.
I might go too easy because I've been playing this. Some of the boss fights have just gone for quite a bit. They're really tough, so I might just drop a level down.
Yeah, that's if I'm admittedly bad at a particular type of game, I've got no shame in playing it on easy.
That's it for me. I mean, did anyone play the Star Wars?
Oh, yeah.
Battlefront?
Yes.
It's beautiful to look at, it's beautiful to listen to, but that's it. It's just trying to think of the Battlefield. Sorry.
Yeah.
It's like Battlefield with the Star Wars skin on it, unfortunately. I was a bit unimpressed.
Well, this is where our criticisms are going to differ, I think, because I'm a big Battlefield fan. I played God knows how many hours of Battlefield 4 over the course of about a year and a half. But I went into this kind of expecting it to be more like Battlefield than it was. And it's kind of more like Battlefront used to be. And I guess I should have expected that. It's a Battlefront game, it's not Battlefield. But having come from Battlefield, DICE has done what it always does in terms of graphics and sound design, in that they are incredible. Like, it looks like Star Wars and it sounds like Star Wars. It sounds incredible.
Yeah.
DICE is so good at sound design, especially. But the gameplay's far too simple, to the point where you're like firing a gun is no more accurate aiming down sights than it is from firing from the hip. So there's no point aiming down the sights because you're just quicker to draw if you just fire from the hip. And it's got really stripped down perks and weapons, no attachments to any of the weapons or anything like that. You can't really customize things to fit the way that you play. And the vehicle bits, I mean, did you play any of the Walker Assault?
I tried a bit.
Yeah.
I won as a Rebels, I won.
Yeah, I think I got one, but it was so hard. That was another problem. It's a beta, so they can kind of try and fix it. But I think a problem with that game mode is, especially on that map, it's fundamentally weighed towards the Empire because they've got far more artillery.
Yeah, I just got bored of getting the shit kicked out of me, basically.
It's. I mean, I was expecting it to be more of a, like I say, more of a Battlefield sort of game and less Battlefront. But to people who still really like Battlefront, they'll probably enjoy it. I just think I felt it was a little bit too simple. And that's what I was going to mention about the vehicles. Having gotten used to absolutely bossing it on Battlefield in a scout chopper, having to get into these vehicles and find that a lot of them are kind of on rails was very disappointing. I'll probably pick it up when it's cheap, but I'm not. I was really excited for it, and now I'm not.
Yeah, same here. I was quite looking forward to it, but it's just lost its sheen for me when they were advertising a £150 version of it. I just thought, right, that's it. I'm already out.
See, that's even more egregious than Battlefield was. Like, I don't know whether they're going to take the same route as they did with the Battlefield DLC, but when I first got it, it was £40 plus £40 for the expansion. So I shelled out £80 on day one for Battlefield 4. But they have. I mean, Battlefield 4 came out 2 years ago.
Yeah,
I think
easy.
And they're still releasing DLC that's covered under that the extra £40 for the season pass. So, I mean, they've done an amazing job of supporting that game. It had a terrible launch, garnered a very bad reputation because the servers were a mess for ages. It took them nearly a year to get it fully working, but they just keep on giving more and more content, and I think that hopefully they might do the same thing for Battlefront. But even with that, asking people to shell out more than £100 on day one for a game is a little bit.
Yeah,
it's a bit much. I was going to pick it up on day one. You know, I did like it. You know, I did enjoy the Walker Assault. It did feel like Star Wars. You know, I did get confused at first by not reloading.
Yes,
you know?
Yeah.
But when they announced the season pass on the last day of the beta, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So everyone was on the high. And I thought, you fucking...
Yeah.
Yep, exactly. Pull you in.
And then rip your heart
That's
out.
it.
£100.
They're just like the worst crack dealer on the block, aren't they? It's just awful.
Yeah.
Well, they know that they can. Like, there's a new Star Wars film coming out. They can feed it off the fan base. So they'll charge what they want.
And they'll probably get it from a lot of people as well.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Unfortunately.
People will pay that.
Yep. Mind you, saying that, I've shelled out, 120 quid's worth so far on Lego Dimensions. So...
Yeah, tell us about that.
Oh, what a wonderful game. It's just such a great hoot. There's so much comedy in it, and the characterization is absolutely spot on. The voice acting is fantastic. You've only got to look on Wikipedia and look at the cast list, and you go, what? This is better than most of the blockbusters.
Is it the cast from the film?
It's the cast from the film,
Oh,
it's
nice.
cast from the games, it's cast from the respective worlds they go to, so you've got The Simpsons, you've got Doctor Who, you've got all the Doctors, which is quite something, because the 3 of them are dead. But yeah, it's shaping up to be a really good game. At the moment, I'm on to, I think I've done 4 worlds so far, and just loving it. Just everything about it is absolutely pitch perfect. The gameplay itself is exactly what you'd expect from a Lego game. You can run around and bash everything you can. The hub, bizarrely enough, is actually better on this than it's been for a long time. Where you get your hub world. And, with Marvel, where it was just like the whole of New York City. And it just took you forever to find a mission. Well, with this, it's basically, I don't know, about 30 seconds to walk right around the whole hub.
That's good.
Yeah. The actual joy of building your sets is back as well. You've actually got a physical Lego set to build, which has taken me back to being about 7. So far, I'm lapping it up. There's just so many glorious comedy moments in the cutscenes, and actually in-game dialogue as well.
So you play through all the worlds, like it's 9 different worlds. Yeah. I understand that, but so you go through Scooby-Doo, Wizard of Oz, but to actually unlock the world of the hub in that way, such, you need the extra pack. So if you want to, you play through the level on the dimension bit, but to actually of the Oz level, but to unlock the Oz world as such, you need the Wizard of Oz pack, do you?
Yeah, or at least a character that's got abilities that would be able to unlock that.
Right.
By the looks of it at the minute. I mean, there's a good article on Kotaku, is it? The website. Somebody actually posted a list of the kits that you would need to completely unlock everything, and it's not half as much as there is available. You can get away with about half of it and still be able to completely unlock it and 100% the game. But like you said the other day, Andy, there's already new packs being announced, new levels, new worlds. This has got legs from playing the Lego games yourself. The replayability of them is ridiculous, because once you've actually unlocked that level and gone through it, you to actually just go through it and free play, is quite something anyway. They've put so much detail into it. It's just such a joy to play.
Yeah.
Which has been missing from a lot of games just lately, actually.
Yeah.
It's certainly not po-faced.
No, that sounds good. And they've made use of a portal a bit more, haven't they?
Yeah, very much. Well, when you're unlocking worlds, when you finally finish a world, there's actual discs on the back of your portal unit that you've got to then reassemble onto the front of the portal, so that you can actually, you've got a physical indication of whereabouts you are in the game, just there in Lego bricks, just there day in, day out, reminding you how much you've got left to do.
It sounds like an interesting concept. It's a bit of a twist on the Skylanders and Disney Infinity sort of model.
Yeah, very much. I think it's probably going to be a lot longer lifespan than, say, the Disney Infinities, because I've noticed that the Infinities keep coming out with like a new version. It's like Disney Infinity 2.0, 3.0. And that means that nothing is backwards compatible at all, But with this, you've got your portal and all your Lego pieces, they've just got the same base anyway. So, I think it's...
I remember hearing that we've got a 3-year plan for it.
Wow. Well, yeah, I mean, there seems to be no limit to what you could do with it, because the way they've designed it, it's very open-ended.
Yeah.
And to add stuff, they wouldn't actually need to put any DLC on it as such, because you could do that with your level packs anyway.
Yeah.
That could be quite something. If 3 years you still playing the same game, that's that's something I don't think I've done since I played A3 and HX.
No, my copy did arrive today eventually. My wife was a bit late with my birthday present. So.
Grounds for divorce.
Yeah. I don't think it'll go down too well after a couple of months.
Not really.
Yeah, she'll regret buying you that.
Yeah, well, she will do.
The other one I've been playing this month is COUNTERSPY, which is something I picked up off a PlayStation Network. I know that you guys have probably got it free because it was on PlayStation Plus, I think, a few months ago.
Yeah.
Well, guess what? I didn't bother. I thought, don't know, don't look like my kind of thing. What an idiot. But luckily I managed to pick it up for £4 anyway. Dive straight into it, and it's just great fun. Came out last year as well. I was looking up, because I thought this looks fairly sharp and fairly new.
Yeah.
Apparently it just came out last summer, and the fact that you can play it on all the platforms, it's great fun.
Yeah, and
you
cross save as well, so you can just switch between the two.
Cross saves. This is a game that you can keep going back to. I mean, when that first opening screen comes up and it says something like levels are randomly generated, your experience is different every time.
Yeah.
As soon as that comes up, I just think yippee, because I know that then you're not stuck to doing the same old story and same old grind, and having to go back to a certain level and do it again, do it again. It's great. It's just such a bizarre art style, isn't it? It's just...
Yeah, I mean, the gameplay kind of took something that I really enjoyed from... I don't know if you've ever played the game Stealth Inc.
No, not yet.
It's called... I think they called it Stealth Bastard on PC, and then had to change it to Stealth Inc. on PlayStation. I played a lot of the first one on my Vita, and really, really enjoyed that. But that was more of a case of all the levels are set. So when you do a level, it was just, if you wanted to play it again, it was just a case of going back and trying to beat your time. Whereas this one, there's no element of that at all, because you never play the same level twice. It's more like Spelunky in that aspect.
Yeah, it's just the style of it as well, where it's like a side-scrolling stealth game, but it's... I don't know whether it's 2D or 3D. Is it like 2.5D or something?
It's kind of like... I don't know. I think I might be remembering it wrong, but it's kind of reminds me a little bit of the way that Crash Bandicoot used to be presented, and it was like 3D. But a lot of the time, when you when you had the side-scrolling sections of that, it was you were on a 2D plane but in 3D world. But most of it is kind of there are sections where it switches dimension, but most of it's played along, just played 2D.
Like when you're pulling a guy behind a barrel and suddenly you're facing him straight forward.
Yeah.
The stealth element's quite good on it. Just really well thought out. It's a very Moorish game. I've found that I just can't put it down when I've got it running on the Vita. I've obviously played it on the other platforms as well. I think it works very well on Vita for some reason.
Yeah.
It seems to be the one that's getting all the hammer.
Yeah, and it's a shame that the Vita hasn't sold particularly well, because whenever one of these indie games comes out that's cross-platform on PlayStation, you always say the same thing. Oh, it's best to play it on Vita. It plays best on Vita. Or it looks best on Vita.
Yeah.
And it's true. They all play and look better on the Vita. Partly, but if you've got a Generation 1 Vita, one of the old ones.
Yes, the ones with the really decent screen.
The OLED screen, yeah, that screen is incredible. And games like this that are quite colourful and have a striking artistic style, they just look lovely on that screen.
Yeah, it is slightly different on the Vita as well. You know how on the PS4 and the PS3, you've got like little specks, to make it look like it's aged film.
Yeah, film grain.
Yeah, which is quite a nice touch, but it's missing from the Vita. Obviously they just sort of thought, now, keep it nice and simple.
Yeah.
It just gives it the sharpness that it needs. The art style itself, is very much like the opening credits for the Hitchcock films by Saul Bass. And the opening credits to Archer as well, which is probably my favourite animated thing at the minute. But it's just so pin sharp. The again, there's quite a tongue-in-cheekness to it, isn't there? The whole sort of alternative Cold War, where you've got your imperialists and your socialists, and you're just playing against each other. It's just a good giggle. I found it tricky at first because when I was going through the DEFCON levels, I'd suddenly end up on DEFCON 1.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, I went to DEFCON 1 on both sides now. This is not going too well. And it wasn't until I realised that you didn't have to keep hitting continue. Once I realised that you could actually say, no, that's it, exit.
Yeah.
And it'd save all your game. You'd save everything that you'd actually unlocked. The only thing that you didn't save was your money. Mm-hmm. You went back to zero cash and started again on DEFCON 3. That's it. I was away.
Yeah, it's a sort of game that very easily gets its hooks into you.
Oh yeah.
And I was kind of surprised by that, to be honest, because I like to play stealth games on the whole as non-lethally as possible. And trying to sneak past everyone, trying to be a ghost. And there are bits in COUNTERSPY where you just... it is kind of fun to just murder your way through. But I always enjoy trying to play through like non-lethally and as sneaky as possible in that sort of game. And there's a lot of sections and levels in COUNTERSPY where that's just not possible, where you've got to try and... You still got to do it stealthily, but you've got to take out the guards that are ahead of you.
Well, for the lethal / non-lethal route, I really like the... I can't remember the name of the weapon, but there's a weapon that you can shoot, and if you shoot it into one of the guys, he'll turn and start shooting on his own guys. That's great fun.
Yeah.
Also got the sleeping dart gun as well. That's good giggle.
Yeah.
Yeah, just watching them actually turn on each other, that's great fun. You just hide behind a barrel and watch them go.
Yeah, it does give you a lot of toys to play with. At first, it's quite limited in how you can get through the levels. You just have a silenced pistol, don't you? Just to start with, and that's the only tool you've got. But later on, you get a lot of extra toys to play with, and you can buy perks like the one to drop your DEFCON level down. Was an absolute godsend.
Quite handy.
Yes, I ended up spending quite a lot of money on that particular perk because I got quite careless a few times. And even when I was being very careful, I did notice that sometimes a guard that you didn't even know was there would spot you, and it was a little bit of a problem with not being able to see, because it's 2D. You can't see as much of the environment as you'd like to, and so occasionally I get spotted by guards that I didn't even know where I was in their line of sight. I didn't even know they were there. But it's still so enjoyable. I didn't care. Usually, like in other stealth games, I'd be like, okay, like quit, go back to the last checkpoint. But this was like, just keep going. It's too much fun.
Yeah, that's it. Run. Well, they were in an IGN review, and they said that it was inconsistent AI, and said that it proved to be a noticeable issue for the game. And I thought, well, not really. It's pretty good, and the inconsistency, I think, just makes it that much more enjoyable because you're never quite sure whether you've been spotted or whether they're just idiots.
Yeah, and I think it's to developers' credit that they managed to get the AI working as well as it does in an environment that's completely randomly generated. They haven't designed the guards around the environments. They're just programmed to work within the environments. And on the whole, they work really, really well. And the stealth mechanics of it all fits together, which is an achievement.
Especially on this kind of level.
Yeah.
It's obviously, I would say, a budget release.
It's an indie release, so I'm pretty sure it's an indie
exactly.
release. Yeah.
I mean, I know that there's guys that are involved in it that have been involved with other stuff like Uncharted and Infamous, but this is more like a labour of love.
Yeah.
And it certainly looks like it as well. I mean, there's some lovely pieces on it, like when you're taking in the Imperialists, and you get one of the guards and he recognises you, and he says, Johnny?
Yeah.
Once you've actually finished it, you can actually tackle it at a bit harder level. That's the achievements on it anyway. Because obviously I really wanted to get some achievements on this now. Especially when I found out that you've got 2 levels of achievements. You've got one for the PS4 and one for the Vita. The actual console versions differ.
Really?
So I'm actually so I'm actually getting points on both.
Oh, so they pop twice for you? Oh, nice.
Yeah. So that's sweet, but it just means I've got to do the the whole thing again on the other console. But it gives me a good excuse to play again.
Yeah.
But I noticed that you can actually play it. You've got to do it on intermediate and hard, and knowing how hard it gets just on easy, I think there's going to be a lot of slogging on this one.
Yeah, it can get incredibly difficult, especially if you just need to get spotted by one guard in a room with lots of guards, and suddenly it's game over because you'll get murdered before you can take them out, and the DEFCON level just keeps on rising. And
well, you can guarantee the one time you get spotted, it's in a room with 9 guards, and one of them's got a radio ready to call in.
Yeah.
You just think, oh no.
Yeah, and that's one area where I'd say that the PS3 and PS4 version is better than the Vita. Is that aiming when you need to do shooting quickly on those little sticks can sometimes be a little bit fiddly.
Yes, very much so. The music for it very much slides into that 60s spy sound as well. Not just the Bond sound, I would say it's more in like Flint and the Austin Powers stuff.
Yeah.
It's very much that way, and it sounds a bit like the Archer theme again.
Yeah, it does, yeah. But I said Archer nailed a lot of aspects of that sort of
definitely,
that
Cold
whole
War
aspect
thing. Yeah. And, it really ties in nicely to all that, and you can hear its influences right through, but it's absolutely perfectly pitched stuff as well. And when the music starts to hasten up, when you actually get spotted, my God, you know about it.
Yeah.
Because I think that actually does make you panic.
Yeah, it's got I felt a little bit of like a classic 60s James Bond vibe about it as well. And the whole thing seems to be kind of like a sort of a love letter to that era of spy movies and spy novels and spy TV shows as well.
Yeah, definitely.
It's very campy, but very, very 60s.
Yeah, in a really good way as well.
Yeah.
So I'm just looking at these screenshots of it. It looks beautiful as a game.
It is.
So your main character, is he like cloaked? Because he looks, when I'm looking at him, he just seems... you just see
he's wearing like a
eyeballs.
cartoon style sort of sneaking suit. It's just all like a black onesie.
It's really funny.
With eyes, with white eyes.
Yeah, it's really funny because it doesn't matter how well lit the room is. He seems to be in permanent shadow. It's fantastic.
Yeah, and all the guards are kind of like big barrel-chested stomping dudes with massive chins.
And tiny heads.
Yeah, tiny heads. Yeah, massive shoulders and tiny heads. Yeah, it's a very deliberate art style, but it works. The whole thing works. It's got a good vibe.
Yeah,
I'm just looking. The Soviets. Is it the Soviets you fight?
No, you fight the Soviets and the Americans. You're kind of in the middle, playing both sides.
Yeah, and you're just taking plans from both sides as well. Because you're actually building your own missile to launch and then blame one of the sides for it, and just leave them to fight it out between them.
So you're like an evil spy.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. Although it doesn't tell you that on the outset, really, does it? It's kind of like
No.
you think you're trying to do it to de-escalate the Cold War.
Yeah, no, you're just trying to get to your own ends, basically.
Basically, yeah.
To escalate it.
Yeah, you're basically playing Dr. Evil in the middle.
Well, that's how I'm playing it. I've got white cat for it and everything now.
I did enjoy the score chase element of it as well. I had a bit of a rivalry with my friend Andy over it for a
Yeah,
while.
I forgot about that.
Yeah. You probably haven't seen it because you've gotten so far into the game that no one else has got to the point you're at. Yeah, I need to start playing it some more and try and catch you up a bit.
I've left a lot of you. There's still one of our guys, Pete Cleaves. Good God, you should see his score. That is ludicrous. I'd love to know how many hours he's put into it, because I've piled quite a few into it. Not quite 100 hours, though, but getting there.
But it's the sort of game that you can pick up and play for 5-10 minutes and then put down and then pick it up again. It's not the sort of game that you necessarily have to sit and play for long periods, although you totally can.
Oh, definitely can.
Yeah, yeah, it'd be a good way to pass like a long flight or whatever. And it'd be perfect in a second holiday.
Yeah, fancy a trip to America.
Yeah, I'll just book a long flight just for an excuse to play some Counter-Spy.
Yeah, as long as they've got good Wi-Fi.
Yes, yeah,
We've got Wi-Fi everywhere in America.
yeah.
Really?
They've even got it in the streets. Seriously, part of DC, the main bit in the mall of nine blocks or whatever, they've provided the Wi-Fi.
Public Wi-Fi.
Public Wi-Fi.
What? But this is a place where, when you look at the movies, they've not even got mobile signal.
No, they've got Wi-Fi.
Every film I see, oh no, my phone don't work.
Yeah.
Oh no. What? Damn you, Hollywood.
I'll send them a tweet.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you want to say about it?
No, I think I'm pretty spent.
Is it recommended?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes, it's definitely a good game. I would very much recommend it.
Yeah. And it's cross-buy as well, so you get it 3 times for the price of one.
Cool.
Yep,
Cool.
yep. Although the iOS or Android one you have to pay for separately, but it's something that it's worth probably picking up. I picked it up for £4 from PlayStation Network, so it's still pretty damn cheap. And for something like that, it's just a no-brainer, really. It's less than a decent glass of port for a start.
Yeah. Yeah, and there's hours and hours of fun in there.
Yeah. The random element just means that you've got the complete replayability all the time, and like you said, the pick up and play element as well, because the levels can be really short sometimes, because you will just get your ass handed to you sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah, but it does. They're random, and it's not just a case of changing a few little elements here and there. They completely reconfigure levels so that no two play quite the same.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Every one of them seems to be tweaked. I've never played the same level twice.
No.
I've played a lot of levels. You come into a level thinking, "Oh, I recognise this,"
It's like...
and then suddenly, the case there I'm looking for isn't there.
Yeah.
There's a guy somewhere else, and I'm thinking, "Where have you come from?"
And then you get spotted and get murdered.
Yeah, exactly. Again.
Do you know how much it's going to cost when it comes out on iOS and Android?
It's $3.99 on iOS.
That's not bad.
I imagine it's going to be the same on Android. Can I really justify buying it on yet another platform?
Yeah.
when I can already play it on 3.
I can see it would be good for people who might want to play it on a mobile device but don't have a Vita.
Yeah. I mean, there has been times when I've been on my way to work, when because I'm on my way to work, so I've only got my phone and thinking, I'm really regretting this now. I should really pick this up. But they're so fleeting because my Vita's never really that far away. And let's face it, I am going to work.
Yeah, that's true.
$3.79 on Android.
Oh,
cheaper.
well,
There you go.
that sounds like Android all over.
Yeah.
Just cheap.
Yes.
Apple Pods.
Yeah. I like my Android phone.
Yeah, oddball.
If you would like to contact the LGR team about getting involved in our community, sharing your own stories of being a lapsed gamer or recently returning to games, perhaps appearing on the podcast or offering feedback on any aspect of our show, you can do so by sending an email or better still an MP3 to lapsedgamerradio@gmail.com. So that's lapsedgamerradio, all one word, at gmail.com. We're also on Twitter at lapsedgamer if you'd like to follow and engage with any of the team members there. You can also find our page on Facebook simply by searching for Lapsed Gamer Radio, and likewise you can join our public Steam group. I believe you just search for Lapsed Gamer Radio and then filter the results to groups and you'll be able to find us there. If you're listening to us, you've obviously already found us, but for reference, if helpful, the main ways you can listen to our episodes are via our Podbean RSS feed, which is lapsedgamerradio.podbean.com, and you can subscribe to Lapsed Gamer Radio on iTunes. Needless to say, any reviews you could leave for us are extremely appreciated and enormously helpful for our little community to flourish. If there's any method you'd prefer for the podcast to be published on, let us know and we'll do our best to accommodate your request.